Ladies and gentlemen, in life we all set goals that define who we are and who we wish to become. Our dreams inspire us, guide us, and give us a sense of direction. Yet on the journey to achieving them, we often face setbacks, failures, and unexpected obstacles. Too many times people give up on their goals simply because their first attempt did not work out. But the truth is, failure does not mean the goal is wrong. It only means the method needs to be adjusted. When we talk about goals, we are talking about the vision, the dream, or the ultimate destination we want to reach in life. A goal is the guiding star that gives us direction and purpose. It may be a career we aspire to, a personal milestone we wish to achieve, or a change we want to bring into our lives. The important truth about goals is that they should remain steady because they represent the deeper desires of our hearts and minds. Once a goal is set, it becomes a promise we make to ourselves, a commitment to work towards something meaningful. However, while the goal should be unshakable, the path to reach it does not always have to be fixed. Life is unpredictable, and the methods we first choose may not always work as we expect. What matters is not how many times we adjust our path, but that we never let go of our ultimate aim. Imagine climbing a mountain. The peak represents your goal, and there are countless trails that lead upward. If one path is blocked by a landslide, it doesn't mean the mountain cannot be climbed. It simply means you must find another way. Too often, people confuse the difficulty of the method with the impossibility of the goal. But in reality, it is only the method that fails, not the dream itself. Flexibility in methods is the quality that separates those who succeed from those who give up. A rigid mindset says, if this way doesn't work, then nothing will. A flexible mindset says, if this way doesn't work, I will try another. By being open to different approaches, we allow creativity, problem solving, and innovation to guide us towards success. Think of an entrepreneur who launches a business idea that doesn't perform well. If they abandon their dream altogether, they close the door to potential success. But if they change their strategy, maybe adjusting the product, marketing differently, or targeting a new audience, they can still achieve the same goal of building a thriving business. This balance of constancy and flexibility is what gives goals their power. The goal acts as the unchanging anchor, while the method becomes the sail that can shift with the winds. Life is full of challenges, but when we understand that only the method is temporary and the goal is permanent, we learn how to navigate with determination. Every obstacle, instead of being a dead end, transforms into an opportunity to test a new route. This mindset ensures that no matter how many times the plan fails, the dream remains alive and within reach. Failure is often seen as something negative, a sign that we are not capable or not good enough. But in truth, failure is one of the most powerful teachers we will ever encounter. When we fail, we are given valuable information about what does not work. This feedback becomes a guide that redirects us toward better approaches. If everything in life worked perfectly on the first attempt, we would never develop resilience, problem-solving skills, or creativity. Failure is not the end of a dream. It is simply the beginning of a smarter attempt. It whispers to us, this way didn't work, but try again, differently. Think about some of the greatest minds in history. Many of them failed countless times before reaching success. Their failures were not defeats, but lessons that allowed them to refine their methods. For example, athletes who lose a competition often analyze their performance, find weaknesses, and return stronger the next time. The loss does not mean they should quit the sport. It means they have been shown where to improve. This same principle applies to every aspect of life: academics, careers, relationships, or personal goals. Each failure contains within it the seeds of growth, but only if we choose to see it as feedback instead of a dead end. The danger lies in misunderstanding failure. Too many people allow it to damage their confidence and make them question the worth of their goal. But the truth is, failing at a method has nothing to do with the value of the dream itself. A failed exam does not mean you are not intelligent. A failed business does not mean you cannot be successful. A failed attempt at change does not mean it is impossible. Failure does not define who we are. It only reveals where adjustments need to be made. The moment we see failure as information rather than defeat, it loses its power to discourage us. By embracing failure as feedback, we build resilience. Every unsuccessful attempt becomes a stepping stone that brings us closer to success. Instead of asking, "Why did I fail?" we should ask, "What did I learn?" This simple shift in perspective transforms failure from a painful experience into a constructive one. It becomes a teacher that shapes our journey, reminding us that the path to achievement is not meant to be smooth, but full of lessons that prepare us for greatness. In this way, failure is never a permanent loss. It is a temporary redirection towards something greater. Adaptability is one of the greatest strengths a person can develop on the journey towards success. Life is not a straight road. It is filled with unexpected turns, sudden obstacles, and constant changes. If we remain rigid in our approach, we often find ourselves stuck or defeated. But when we cultivate adaptability, we learn how to shift a direction without losing sight of our destination. This ability to adjust ensures that no matter how unpredictable the journey becomes, we still find a way to move forward. Kearney didn't come to those who refuse to change. It comes to those who are flexible enough to reinvent their strategies when needed. Consider how nature itself demonstrates adaptability. Consider how nature itself demonstrates to one path. For instance, if a student finds that their study technique is not effective, adaptability means experimenting with new methods such as group learning, visual aids, or digital resources until progress is made. The goal of excelling in studies does not change, but the approach must evolve with experience. Adaptability also builds resilience in the face of challenges. When difficulties arise, a rigid person might give up, feeling that success is no longer possible. But an adaptable person sees the challenge as a signal to adjust their method. This flexibility transforms setbacks into opportunities for innovation. Many great discoveries and inventions were not the result of rigid plans, but of individuals who adapted to failure and unexpected outcomes. In business, for example, companies that thrive are those that change with market demands, adopt new technologies, and listen to customer needs. Their success is rooted not in doing the same thing repeatedly, but in adapting to what works best. Furthermore, adaptability develops an open mindset that welcomes growth. It allows us to let go of the fear of change and embrace the unknown as part of the process. When we adapt, we expand our skills, strengthen our problem-solving abilities, and increase our chances of reaching the goal. Adaptability does not mean losing sight of the dream. It means being wise enough to recognize that the path may look different from what we first imagined. In truth, the ability to adapt is often the difference between those who remain stuck in failure and those who rise above it to achieve lasting success. Many people believe that in order to succeed, everything they do must be flawless, but the reality is that perfection is not what drives achievement. Persistence does. Perfection often becomes a trap, causing individuals to delay action out of fear that they are not ready or that their work is not good enough. But those who are persistent understand that progress matters more than perfection. Each small step forward, no matter how imperfect, brings them closer to their ultimate goal. Yes, a person who takes consistent, imperfect steps will reach success far sooner than someone who waits endlessly for the perfect opportunity to act. Persistence is the quality that allows us to keep moving, even when the path is difficult and the outcome uncertain. It is about having the determination to continue trying, regardless of setbacks, doubts, or failures. History is full of examples where persistence outshined perfection. Writers faced rejection after rejection before their books were published. Scientists spent years experimenting before finding the right formula, and athletes trained relentlessly through losses before achieving victory. Their success was not born out of flawless execution, but out of their refusal to quit. The danger of chasing perfection is that it often leads to paralysis. When we focus too much on getting everything exactly right, we delay progress and lose valuable time. Persistence, on the other hand, accepts that mistakes are part of the process. It says, I may not get it right the first time, but I will try again until I do. This mindset keeps us in motion, and motion is what eventually leads us to breakthroughs. The road to success is not about making no mistakes. It is about having the courage to rise after every mistake and continue the journey. Moreover, persistence builds character and resilience. It strengthens our ability to handle challenges and teaches us the value of effort. While perfection may look appealing on the surface, it is persistence that shapes us into stronger, wiser, and more capable individuals. Every attempt, every adjustment, and every struggle makes us better prepared for the moment when success finally arrives. Perfection is an illusion, but persistence is a force that guarantees progress. Those who choose persistence over perfection are the ones who ultimately achieve their dreams, because they never allow temporary setbacks to define their journey. Mistakes are often viewed as signs of weakness or failure, but in truth, they are some of the most powerful opportunities for growth. Every mistake carries a lesson within it, a chance to see what went wrong and how it can be done better in the future. Without mistakes, we would never develop the knowledge, wisdom, and experience needed to succeed. The path to growth is rarely smooth. It is built on the lessons learned from missteps. Instead of fearing mistakes, we should embrace them as stepping stones that strengthen our character and sharpen our skills. When we make mistakes, we are forced to pause, reflect, and adjust our approach. This reflection is what allows us to transform failure into progress. For example, a student who struggles with an exam may feel discouraged at first, but if they take the time to analyze their errors, they can discover which areas need more focus. By correcting those weaknesses, they grow stronger and perform better the next time. In this way, mistakes are not setbacks, they are teachers that highlight the path forward. Growth only happens when we allow ourselves to learn, instead of repeating the same errors. Mistakes also teach humility and resilience. They remind us that no one is perfect and that every success story is filled with moments of imperfection. The greatest achievers in history made countless mistakes before finding the right path. But instead of being ashamed of those errors, they used them as fuel to keep going. A mistake should never be a reason to quit. It should be the reason to try again with more wisdom. The process of acknowledging errors, learning from them, and applying those lessons creates growth that perfection could never provide. Furthermore, mistakes help us develop problem-solving skills and creativity. When one approach fails, we are pushed to think differently, explore new methods, and adapt to the situation. This process not only makes us better at reaching our goals, but also expands our ability to handle future challenges with confidence. Growth is not found in avoiding mistakes, but in understanding them deeply. Every mistake we overcome adds to our strength, preparing us for greater achievements ahead. By learning from mistakes, we turn what seems like failure into one of the greatest tools for personal development. History and modern life are filled with countless examples of people who achieved greatness not because their path was easy, but because they refused to abandon their goals when methods failed. These achievers serve as proof that success belongs to those who adapt, persist, and keep moving forward. Take Thomas Edison, for instance, who was famously known for saying he did not fail thousands of ways that did not work. His goal never changed, but his methods evolved again and again until he finally succeeded. His story reminds us that achievement is not about instant perfection, but about the willingness to keep trying. Another powerful example can be found in the life of Abraham Lincoln. Its attestation, cultivation. His journey is a living testament to the idea that changing methods while holding firmly to the goal can eventually lead to extraordinary success. In the world of sports, Michael Jordan is often cited as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Yet, he was once cut from his high school basketball team. Instead of allowing this rejection to destroy his dream, he used it as motivation to train harder, refine his techniques, and push his limits. His story demonstrates that even the most successful individuals started with failures, but their refusal to abandon their goals led them to greatness. Such stories prove that what matters is not how many times we fall, but how many times we rise with a new approach. Even in the business world, achievers like Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey highlight this principle. Jobs faced rejection and was even removed from his own company, yet he came back with innovative methods that reshaped technology forever. Oprah too faced numerous challenges early in her career, but by adjusting her approach, she became one of the most influential voices in media. Their lives reveal that setbacks are not the end, but a test of persistence and adaptability. These achievers prove that the dream remains possible as long as we are willing to change the method, not the goal. Every dream carries with it a sense of purpose and meaning that makes the journey worthwhile, no matter how difficult it becomes. Dreams are not random wishes. They are reflections of our deepest desires, ambitions, and values. They give us direction in life, something to strive for and something to believe in. When challenges appear, it is easy to forget why we started. But reminding ourselves of the worth of our dream renews our strength. A meaningful dream is not achieved overnight. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and countless attempts. But the reward of fulfillment is far greater than the pain of the struggle. The effort invested in chasing a dream is never wasted, because each step brings us closer to becoming the person we are meant to be. Even if success feels far away, the process itself shapes a character, sharpens our skills, and builds resilience. A student who studies tirelessly for years may find the journey exhausting, yet when the goal is finally achieved, the sense of accomplishment outweighs every sleepless night. A dream is worth the effort because it transforms not just your circumstances, but also who we are as individuals. Every drop of effort becomes part of the foundation that makes the dream possible. And moreover, the value of a dream often lies beyond personal satisfaction. This broader impact makes the struggle meaningful because our dreams can light the way for others. The dream is not just about personal success. It is about contributing something valuable to the world. Finally, the worth of a dream is measured by the passion it ignites and the perseverance it inspires. The harder the journey, the more precious the victory becomes. People often regret the chances they never took, but rarely regret the effort they gave in pursuit of something they truly desire. The dream is worth every sacrifice, every failure, and every adjustment of method because it represents our true potential. Even when the road is long and filled with obstacles, holding on to the dream reminds us that the effort is never in vain. Have support in velvet. So, as we reflect on the journey toward our goals, let us remember that setbacks are not signs to surrender, but signals to try again differently. Our dreams are the compass that point us toward the life we truly desire, and no obstacles should ever make us doubt their worth. Methods may fail, paths may change, and circumstances may challenge us, but the dream itself must remain unshaken. The greatest successes in history did not come from those who had perfect plans, but from those who refused to give up when plans failed. They adapted, they learned, and they persisted until the dream became reality. And that is the message we must carry with us. Never abandon the vision. Only improve the approach. Hold fast to your dream, even when the journey becomes difficult. Adjust the method, but never the goal.